Hello, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining our Instagram Live today and for being here to support Adriana on our very first one of these. While we wait for the guest of honor to get connected, I suppose I will just go over a few quick introductions. My name is Tressa Buckland. I am a Community Experience Associate here at Curable. And today I will be joined by the one and only Adriana Bucci. Adriana is so awesome, you guys. She is a life coach who specializes in narcissistic abuse recovery. But before she started coaching, she actually overcame years of her own chronic pain. And now she has just an amazing recovery story, which we are going to dive into live today. And I'm going to go ahead and invite her to join here. She should be popping on any minute now. But while we wait for Adriana to hop on.
Hi.
Oh, there she is. Awesome.
Hello. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here. It's like I owe literally Curable my life. So I'm super, super stoked to be here and share my story.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Well, we are so stoked to have you. And I already gave everyone a little introduction on you. So if you don't mind, can we just jump right in?
Yeah, let's do it.
Tell us about where your journey begins.
Awesome. So where my journey begins, I guess, is in the womb. But I definitely had some random symptoms in my childhood and stuff like that, but nothing really compared to 2015 when I got my wisdom teeth removed. And then it was just this slippery slope downwards for the next 4 years of just complete hell. I ended up with TMJ dysfunction. I ended up with neck pain, eventually carpal tunnel syndrome, and all this fun stuff. It was just a complete disaster. And at my breaking point, after getting shingles in my mouth and having trigeminal neuralgia, I stumbled upon Curable. And yeah, it pretty much changed my life in a nutshell.
Wow. Okay. So that was a lot.
Yeah.
Let's unpack it. Take us back to what you were thinking post that wisdom tooth removal surgery, something that should have been very straightforward, and then afterwards things just started snowballing with your symptoms. And previously you had been a very healthy person, right?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. Yeah, I'd have like random symptoms here and there. I thought I had like these random food intolerances too, but that wasn't like anything close to the physical chronic pain that manifested after I realized none of that was the issue. So it just really makes the mind-body connection make complete sense. And yeah, pretty much once I got my wisdom teeth taken out, I was annoyed because, you know, I was told you're in on a Friday and you will be back to work on Monday, like nothing ever happened and everything's fine. And that's so not what happened. Like the next 4 years would be literal hell. And yeah, like I kept going back to the dentist and saying like, I am literally in pain. Like, can you do something about this? I kept getting different medications and, you know, my pain was being ignored as well by the dentist. Like he was kind of a jerk. And even when he was doing the extraction, I could feel it. Like I could actually feel pain and he was trying to convince me it was just pressure that I was feeling. So I just was not being taken seriously at all. It was horrible. And yeah, I ended up going to an emergency dentist. Like 3 weeks later, they told me I had a massive infection and dry sockets on all four, and I needed to get that sorted out. I switched dentists. That dentist told me I had TMJ dysfunction. So then that turned into me going to physio like 3 times a week, acupuncture, chiropractor, etc. And, you know, after a year, I was like, okay, I'm pushing 30 at this point, and it's only going to go downhill from here the older I get. So that really sucks. And then things just kept getting progressively worse and worse and worse when I got like the neck pain and then the carpal tunnel syndrome. I actually had surgery on one hand, and I was supposed to get surgery on the other one, but thank God I found Curable before that. So yeah, it was wild. And I was doing this weird, crazy jaw treatment for my TMJ. Because I ended up going to a specialist because I just did the whole run around, all the medication, all the things. And eventually I was getting ulcers because I couldn't take any more pills. So it was just like I was running out of options. So I did this splint therapy at a TMJ orthodontist. And it was literally like this weird device that went on both sides, like the upper and the lower, and I sounded like Daffy Duck. I was so self-conscious. It was awful. Yeah, and then I had to get braces, and it was just going to like realign my skull basically, so it would be like in perfect alignment. Mm-hmm.
And how old were you at this time?
30.
That must have been tough.
Horrible. It was horrible. Yeah, it was absolutely horrible. It was like a week before my 30th birthday that I got the braces on. So it was just like great, awesome. For the second time in my life too. So it was so not cool. And yeah, eventually, like, so the first couple of weeks of having the braces, I had vertigo. So that was fun. So the orthodontist decided that that meant that I was very sensitive to this treatment. So we were going to wait 2 months to change the first wire. So we did. And then I got shingles in my mouth like a week after we changed the second wire. Yeah, at the ripe old age of 30. Yeah.
Wow. So while all of these symptoms were popping up like symptom whack-a-mole, you were trying everything under, sounds like you tried acupuncture, you got surgery.
Mm-hmm.
What led you ultimately to think like, hey, maybe there's something else I can try? And what ultimately led you to Curable?
Honestly, just like the creepy algorithm. Nothing would have led me to it if it did not pop up in my Facebook randomly one day. It was January 2019. I was like just extremely in so much pain at that point. The shingles rash was done, but I had trigeminal neuralgia. And then, so I live in Canada, so our health system takes a really long time. So it would have been like a 16 to 18-month wait for a neurologist. So I was just mindlessly scrolling. I don't remember having searched anything about chronic pain in like that recent time because I was just like, hey, like this just sucks and this is my life and it's horrible. But somehow Curable popped up. So I downloaded it. I bought the 1-year subscription right away. I had no clue what it was going to be about. And I had no faith that it was going to work. I was actually offended when I like read what it was about. Like, so I opened it up and it was just like this whole thing about how it's connected to repressed emotions from childhood trauma. And I was like, no, my pain's real. I don't have childhood trauma. What does this app know?
No way.
Yeah.
Say that though, because it's actually very relatable for a lot of people.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's so many people who are skeptical of it. And honestly, like I would have been like asking questions if I hadn't just impulsively bought the year subscription. So I literally was like, how does this app think that it can say that, you know, anything's curable when it comes to chronic pain? Like I was just so offended by the whole concept. So I spent like 24 hours just being pissed about it in general, because I was like, I just wasted money. Like that was like the thing I was pissed about the most. And then of course the next day I was obviously still in pain. So I was just like, okay, humor me, Curable. Let's see what you've got. And then within the first 2 weeks, my first 5 minutes of no pain happened and I thought I was dead. And 20% reduction in my pain. It was great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible. What did you start using the most out of the Curable offerings that kind of resonated with you, and what worked?
Yeah, so I actually like dove in way too fast, which you guys don't recommend and I don't recommend because I totally did it too much. But I would literally like in the morning, I would listen to the education. So as I'd be getting ready for work, I would just be listening to as much of the education stuff as I could. And then, you know, I would listen to the podcast and the other TMS podcasts. And then like after work, I would do either like a meditation or a writing exercise, but I was doing this like way too many times per week because you guys recommend like two or three times. I can't remember what it is, but I was literally going at it every single day, which was like too much. But yeah, I liked everything. The writing exercises, definitely I resisted the most because of course everybody does. And eventually like they ended up becoming my favorite because they worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you started seeing results. You dove head first into Curable. And I mean, if it works, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But when you were going through this, it sounds like you started seeing results pretty soon on in your Curable journey. Did you ever encounter any setbacks or relapses? And
totally.
you did, like, what did you do to get out of that?
Sure, yeah. So it took me 4 months to be completely pain-free. And you know, it was a pretty like good rate that I was going at like becoming pain-free, if that's the way you say it. Um so after that, like 2 weeks later, I had like this crazy like neck and shoulder pain, which was very common. And I had to like, I kept doing journaling. I kept, you know, looking at the Curable app and like listening to the education, all that stuff. Nothing
Mhm.
seemed to be working. So I was like, okay, like I know this works, but it's not working right now. So maybe I just need to talk to my brain. So I actually like had a little conversation with my brain and explained to my brain that I'm safe. There's no danger coming at me. Like I'm literally in a safe environment here. There's no saber-toothed tiger coming my way. There's no tornado hitting my apartment. Like it's all good. And eventually, like after maybe 5 minutes of me talking to my brain like that, it actually went away. So yeah, and like flare-ups happen still, but of course I have some way to work through it, whether it's talking to my brain or journaling or whatever it is, and it definitely works. I like haven't taken Advil in so long.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, congratulations.
thank you.
First off, it's amazing that you were able to use some of the skills you learned about mind body to get yourself out of those darker periods. And you did say that you sometimes experience relapses still to this day, and that kind of leads me to my next question of overall, how are you now compared to when your journey first started?
Oh my gosh, I'm great. Like I no longer suffer from chronic pain. Like that is one thing I can honestly say. Like there is no chronic pain. There's the human pain, of course. I stubbed my toe, it hurts, but
Mhm.
it doesn't turn into like this whole spiral downwards of like more pain.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Complete flip
Oh yeah.
from where you were post surgery, post
Yeah.
what?
Post curable, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, we're almost out of time,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna start wrapping things up, but I
Sounds
do
good.
have a question if you're open to it.
Yeah.
Okay, seeing how far you've come, I'm just curious if you have any words of advice or wisdom that if you had the opportunity to go back in time and tell your past self, what would you say?
Just get out of your own way and do it. Honestly, like whatever beliefs you have about the mind body connection, whether you think it's fake or real or whatever, just do it because this is literally the basis of everything. Like, I'm not exaggerating, like, and this sounds dramatic, but every issue in your life, like, that you have been through can be helped by the mind body connection and just processing those emotions. Like, it's just emotions are literally every single thing. And the more we pay attention to our emotions, the better. And just like society in general doesn't really like talking about emotions and stuff like that. So it can sound weird that like this is the answer. So it's important to just like not worry about any of that and just do it. Like if you're in pain, don't waste any more time. Just get the Curable app. Seriously, it legit saved my life. Like I was at complete rock bottom, and you know, I did it out of complete desperation because that was literally the day I found it and learned about everything. But you don't have to wait until you're at the rock bottom place that I was at because why? you don't, you really
Why?
don't have to. So you might as well just get started and just do it. Just try it out if you have any chronic pain. Like it's life changing.
Preach. What a great way to wrap up your time with us. Adriana, thank you so much again for being here.
Thanks so much for having me.
Of course, and to everyone who's watching, thank you all so much for being here to support Adriana. And if you guys have any questions about Adriana, her journey, or her work as a life coach who specializes in narcissistic abuse recovery, then check out her website, letsgetyourshifttogether.com, and you can follow her on Instagram at Let's Get Your Shift Together. And I've noticed a couple of you guys asking about where this video will be post-broadcast. And don't worry, it will be saved to our IGTV where you can like, comment, share, and save it there. And to everyone watching, if you liked what you heard or saw today, or if you have any questions about today's session or have feedback for us on what you want to see next time, please leave it all in the comments and we'll be happy to accommodate y'all. Adriana, thanks again.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.